Great to see you again.
Great to see you, Ezra.
It's nice to have you. I'm startled by this because the one thing I believed John Tory on, I never believed him on crime or taxes or traffic or any of the or garbage pickup or safety or anything. But the one thing I believed him on is I thought he was an upright guy, Toronto the Good, who was morally better than all the rest of us that he would scold. I really believed that he was a high-minded guy, certainly not the guy who would cheat on his wife behind her back during the lockdowns and run around with an affair with a woman in her early 30s. I was fooled by him.
I wasn't, actually. Many, many years ago, I saw there are two sides to John Tory, and many, many years ago, I saw the other side when he went on his radio program and threw me under the bus. Basically criticizing an investigative piece that I had spent 3 months working on Regent Park. So, I mean, I it came out of the blue, and again, like the affair. But the other thing is that I had heard rumors over the last couple of months. You know, if you watch very carefully, it's the things that they don't say or they don't do. But if you watch very carefully, where was his family at his victory party? In October, they were not to be seen. Nobody came out on the campaign trail with him. And I didn't think so much about that, but certainly at the victory party, his wife wasn't there, his family wasn't there. And then I started to hear rumors closer to Christmas. And then on New Year's, New Year's Eve, got a picture of his wife all alone in Palm Beach. It was sent to me. And where was John Tory? And it was very clear that he was back up in Toronto. So I had known for a couple of months that they were probably estranged, or they certainly weren't spending, significant time together. So it didn't come as a surprise to me.
Well, that sounds like you had some interesting observations there. I don't know. On the one hand, I suppose two consenting adults, what they do is their own business, and the man cheating on his wife is their own business. Although I say again, this man certainly held himself out to be a moral exemplar and certainly better than the immoral Rob Ford. But remember, this affair, this running around with people outside your bubble, as they would say, was during the pandemic lockdowns when you weren't allowed to gather with strangers. They would literally draw circles on the grass in the parks. They would put fences around trees so you didn't get near people. So while the mayor was saying, hey, you cannot visit your mom, you cannot go to your grandma's funeral, you cannot visit a patient in the hospital, he was getting within 6 feet of separation, shall we say, of a junior staffer and lying about it. I don't know. Go ahead.
That was the hypocrisy of it all. They're consenting adults. They can do whatever they want, although I certainly wouldn't have picked a junior staffer. There is a bit of a power relationship there, and he did abuse his power, I feel. The other thing is that it's clear that she went on trips with him, and whether she was working for him or not working for him, we'll never know. But those trips did cost the taxpayer plenty. And, all you have to do is go to the City Hall website and look at, some of their expenses. And you can see that she racked up some really good expenses. Having said that, the hypocrisy of it all. I mean, we had in Toronto the most draconian series of lockdowns. People went out of business. I saw in my own neighborhood. What happened with Adamson's barbecue? He sent 50 police out there, some on horseback, to arrest this guy for keeping open during, the lockdown. Other people got fines. The bubbles in the park, as you said, the circles, closing Hyde Park so people couldn't go and see the cherry blossoms. I mean, he really, really went overboard. And you can't blame the health officials. You interpret whatever edicts come down in your own way. And no other city in Ontario, or I don't know about the rest of Canada, but the lockdowns were long, they were draconian, and a lot of people were driven out of business. Meanwhile, he's having fun, and people don't forget that sort of thing. And that's the chatter I've seen on social media over the weekend. It's not the fact, 37-year difference is a bit of a shock, but it's not that so much as the fact that this is total hypocrisy and he lied to us.
That was an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. I'm Ezra Levant. Every weekday, I do a monologue about the topic of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest either in studio or via Skype. And then I read your mail, whether it's fan mail or hate mail, which is sometimes even more interesting. This is on our premium service, though, called Rebel News Plus. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's $8 a month or less if you buy a whole year in advance. You get my show every weeknight, plus Sheila Gunn Reid's show every week. It's called The Gun Show. It's pretty amazing. You know, we rely on you because we do not take a dime from the government. In Canada, that makes us almost unique. So please help us out and help yourself to some great journalism at rebelnewsplus.com.